Boris Johnson, it makes me a bit sad just to say his name, our Secretary of State for Foreign and Commonwealth Affairs. He's been in Myanmar talking to the de facto leader of the country, Aung San Suu Kyi. He's apparently pressing for action on the whole Rohingya issue. The crisis, as I understand it, is the Myanmar military crackdown on the Rohingya in Rakhine State, killing many people. Accusations of atrocities have been flying around, and hundreds of thousands of these Rohingya, a majority Muslim people with a Hindu minority, have been driven over the border into neighbouring Bangladesh and are now living in awful conditions. The UN is calling this ethnic cleansing. Aung San Suu Kyi has come under heavy fire for what is perceived as a lack of action, an inadequate response. The Nobel Peace Prize winner and darling of democracy in the country formerly known as Burma has a falling reputation in many circles now. I don't know what kind of influence we, the UK, are able to exert over what was once part of the empire. My guess would be Myanmar's leader couldn't give a shit about Boris the Buffoon and his call for an independent investigation. It's a huge humanitarian problem which requires solid cooperation between Myanmar and Bangladesh. Aid workers and international bodies are doing what they can on the ground to help, of course. But what the situation doesn't need is Boris Johnson. There's not a problem on the face of the earth that requires that man's attention. I get why some people think he's funny. Falling in rivers, getting stuck on zip wires, almost killing a Japanese kid while playing rugby. Yeah, hilarious stuff. But the dumb fuck, bigoted, racist and sexist bollocks that comes tumbling out of his mouth is a bit less amusing. Unless you're a Daily Mail reader, then maybe you're laughing it up, eh? Remember when he had to apologise for calling black people pickaninnies? And he talked about their, quote, watermelon smiles. Yeah. That hooray and bravo praise for Bashar al-Assad was pretty fucking dumb. I know the piece from a couple of years back was basically saying yay for the lesser evil of the Syrian regime as they drove off the Islamic State group, but still, he's a high-profile politician. He's never seemed to grasp that being an opinionated blowhard in a position of privilege and power can have lasting negative consequences. Do you think Boris has a photo of old Churchill on the wall above his bed that he beats off to before sleepy time? Or maybe he just wants to be the new Winston? I think that, like many deeply conservative people in this country, he has an almost fetishistic view of us as the good ship Britannia, giving Europe the middle finger and standing firm against the Muslim hordes. It's a throwback mentality. In a healthy political environment, this guy would be marginalised. But we live in Brexit land now. Johnson is Foreign Secretary and perhaps one day the boss Prime Minister. The moron who tried to draw a comparison between the EU and Hitler's Third Reich, with no hint of irony. During the 2016 referendum, that was, yeah, during the Leave campaign, the successful Leave campaign, yeah, they won. So, this egocentric 53-year-old child got his way. And tens of millions of us have to now deal with the fallout. Fantastic. But hey, that's life.